This is going to be a step-by-step guide to help you connect Instagram Insights to Google Data Studio and automate your social media reports in a dashboard. So in Porter Metrics, we develop different connectors. So in this case, I'm going to show you the Instagram connector. So you will be able to display all your organic information of your Instagram accounts. So the reports are not created only by pulling information, but also how you interpret and display the information in a single page or in a single report. So there are many visualizations you can also find in our template gallery available in portermetrics.com. So you probably want to get more inspiration and probably just download a template and start creating your first report. Porter Metrics is a provider of all these connectors, and we have also an idea and a mission that no matter if you are not a programmer person or no matter if you're not a data scientist, you can create your own report. So with those simple steps, you're going to be able to create your first and automated report. So let's take a look to my screen and let's find out how to connect and how to integrate your data. So I'm here in the product section on the connectors part, and I'm gonna start creating a report. So if you also have some questions about how our product works, you can go here and schedule a free report setup. But here I'm going to connect and make a free report. For this tutorial, we're going to use the Porter Metrics connector. If you want to go directly to the section where I am at right now, you can go and click to the link in the description box. So here I did the same process with the Facebook connector. So I'm going to select all my accounts here, or only the accounts I want to display information in my report. In this case, it's going to be the same content, or probably I'm going to use two of them. When I click here on Connect, I will be able to pull this information automatically and understand what are the metrics that this specific connector is capable to pull from the API of Instagram Insights. So the cool thing from this connector is that you can be able to read all the information and the description of every single metric or field that is available with this connector. This connector is also powerful in terms of the extraction of stories metrics and also Reels metrics. So I highly recommend you to keep updating these metrics and also keep posted to our social media, because we are launching many more fields to be able to create the best report ever. So let's take the next step, and here clicking the button Create a Report. If you started using this connector from the link that I just provided in the description box, you will get this report template for free. So you don't have to think about what are the main metrics to integrate here. And also the thing that it's important you to keep in mind from Instagram is that probably we are looking to the same metrics, no matter if we own a business or if we are content creators. So we probably are really focused on the number of followers and also the interaction and engagement of our post. So here I have some metrics that are displayed here in the first section. So let's navigate them. In this section, I'm displaying 5 metrics. So the principal metrics of Instagram are followers, the account follows during the specific time date range that we defined here. We also have the profile views, we also have profile new followers, and obviously the reach. We can see this integrated graph when where I display these metrics that are important for our profile. So for example, here I have the new followers and the new views. So I can see here the relation between these two metrics. And if you need some extra help or you need to integrate this report metrics with other connectors or other data sources such as Facebook ads, Facebook Insights, or any other connector, you can discover them through this template. Here we also have a product tour, and you can find more templates for Instagram Insights directly in our gallery. Now let's go to the page number 2 and let's understand better the metrics that are integrated here in this connector. You can set up your Instagram pages report on Google Data Studio by navigating all these fields, metrics, and dimensions that are available. The way to see Google Data Studio and the way it displays the information is basically how we integrate everything, and that's why we need to be so creative in terms of how to display this data, and also getting to know better our audience, our final audience. Who are our collaborators? Who is this person who's gonna receive this information directly from us as we are their analyst? So this is important you to feel or take some minutes to understand better what is your final audience. So what is that person? What are their interests in terms of what is the content or main question this person could have around the content strategy or the campaign itself. So here I have, for example, all the metrics that are relevant to understand the interactions in my profile. So here, for example, I have all the tabs in a website, in a link to a website, or tabs here on the link to a phone. So for example, if I own a local business, to me it is really important. If I run a gym or probably a local cafe or a library, that could be a really useful resource. Or here, for example, tabs on emails. If I'm an influencer and some of my contacts are going directly to my email address and they can send me an email. So to me, that could be really relevant. And also tabs on directions link. This one is really good when you own a restaurant or you manage the accounts of a restaurant, because people are watching or are looking your content and looking your photos, and they are craving to taste a plate or a dinner dish that you offer in your restaurant. So here, let's go to this section and understand these metrics better. So here I'm displaying, for example, only the interactions that are directly in the profile. If you go to your Instagram account, you will see that all these metrics or all these interactions are main actions that a user can take after watching or seeing your content in this platform. Now let's understand better the dimensions. So here, for example, are all the dimensions are all of them that are qualitative. So for example, here we have the account biography, the account ID, the account name, the user account, the account of this, the name of this account, and probably you can also find pictures and some other information that is qualitative. So let's take a look here and see what are the metrics that, or the dimensions that are important for this section. To create charts, it's important to select the dimensions. So for example, if I want to show this as graph that is taking into account the time and also a metric, it is important we select the dimension profile date. And here, for example, the metric is different. The metric, or the way to differentiate the metrics from dimensions in your Google Data Studio connector, no matter what type of connector you're using, you will identify them because probably you will find here an icon or an ABC instead of a number. When there is a number, a 1, 2, 3, it means that probably it's a metric. So this is only a hack that I use often to identify what are the dimensions and what are the metrics. Now let's go to the next page. The next page is post. And this is something cool that I really like to include in my reports. and is the title of every single page, so it is easy for the users or the final reader of my report to identify what is the content of every single page. So we can rename it, and we can also integrate an icon, so that's a really cool resource that I highly recommend you to use. Now that you know how to identify the metrics and differentiate them from the dimensions, it is important you also consider integrate all these metrics in a table, because it is easier when we are getting familiar with any content or any platform that is able to create reports. So here, for example, with this table, I'm able to display all the images, the captions. For example, this metric that is pretty cool, that is the first 3 comments of every single piece of content, and also the date. I highly recommend you to post the date first, and then you go deeper with other information. So here, why I integrate the date before this analysis, because it allows me to sort by time. Or here, if I want to add a sort, it is pretty simple to create as well. I click here on secondary sort and select the metric that is more relevant to me. In this case, I'm going to select the post engagement. So I will be able to display from the higher engagement to the lower engagement. So this is only a resource you can use to visualize your information better. There are also cool resources here. For example, the thing that I like the most here about this connector, and obviously about Google Data Studio, is that you can display images. With this connector, we can display the ad creatives or your content creatives and how they have been performing during this specific frame of time. Now let's get back to the metrics and dimensions and understand this analysis that I have created here. I also integrated some filters in this visualization, but let's take a look here and how I integrated different resources to visualize my information better. In this case, I integrated the post reach, the post likes, the post comments, the post saves, and obviously the engagement. So let's name this field. And the formula integrates all the interactions, like likes. So when you start typing, the metric will be displayed. I also can add all the post comments, post saves, and finally divide this metric by the post reach. I'm going to select the type of this metric. It will be a percentage, and I'm not going to add a comparison here, but I'm going to apply here, and let's create this metric as an average and then apply. Now I have this calculated field. To get back to my table, let's see how we can visualize this better. So when I go here and select the style, I will see if I want to display this on a bar, if I want to display the number, if I want to display, for example, a heat map. So let's see what's the best visualization for this metric. As it was the last one that I created or that I integrated to this table, it is easy to me to visualize and understand where is it. So in this case, I'm going to define what is the type of metric or field that I want to show. Here I can display the number, or I can display not only the number but also a heat map. This visualization is pretty interesting to me because here it is a very visual form to read the analysis and all the information in terms of engagement of my post. So now let's see what are other metrics or other dimensions that I can integrate to my report. Now let's get to the last part of this report, and this section is probably my favorite. Here I'm going to analyze the audience, and with Instagram data you can have an idea of what are those people that are getting more related or more engaged with your content. So probably here you will find what are these countries, or what are their gender, or what are, for example, other metrics that are relevant to understand our audience, such as age. So here I wanted to include a map to visualize better this information. I also added a filter here so I can visualize the information for only one of my accounts, or all of the accounts that I have selected at the beginning of this report or when I created it. But it doesn't mean that you cannot get back and select more accounts or only create the report for a specific account. With this filter applied, you will see that the number is changing. Now I have only 19 countries that are integrating the principal or the main audience of my account. And I also have a chart for the gender. I can also select the filter and see what is the audience that are, or the people that are more engaged with my content. And last but not least, I'm going to take a look to these important metrics that are related to the stories. So probably this one is the most important feature now that we are creating content basically daily around different content buckets or different topics that are relevant for our audience. In this case, I'm going to show you what the information is the most relevant to display in your dashboards. So for example, here when you go to the metrics section, you will see all the exits, the replies, the story reach, or the story impressions. These are the metrics available with this connector, and you also can create charts to integrate two metrics. In this case, I integrated the stories replies and the story impressions. So to me, it is important as well to understand what are the exits. So for example, if I had a huge amount of impressions, but I'm not getting as much interactions, that's probably because people are clicking the exit button. I also wanted to show you a different template so you can visualize this information differently. This template is included with this video, so click on the comment section to go directly to this template and download it for free. In this template, I'm displaying all the metrics that are relevant to understand the performance of my profile, also my audience and my followers. So in this case, I have displayed the information of total followers and the total follows. So this means that people who are my followers, and in this case is the people I follow. And here I have the profile views, the profile new followers, and the profile reach. Then I have information of my account, so all the demographics, so where are those cities that are where my audience live. And also here I have the graph that is a breakdown by age and by gender. And in this page, I have the information related with my post. So this field is a pretty interesting one. So let's see how we can change, because here you will probably are asking why I can display the post picture, but I'm only seeing a link. So let's fix this error. So it's pretty simple to fix and modify. What I'm going to do is to edit this report template. And once I'm here and I select this field, you will see that here is a pencil. So it means you can edit this one. So you're gonna click here and going to select the type. So in this case, we are not going to display an URL, but we are going to display an image. So that's how you can fix this error every time you want to display an image instead of a link. And the other curious thing here is that probably you can change the name, because probably you don't want this name, or you have a different name for a metric, or maybe it is not your native language or the language that you want to share your report. So you can here select a different name for this. So in this case, I'm going to use the caption description. So now you will see here the field just was replaced for the name that I put here on the first part of this table. And now I'm visualizing here all the information of my campaigns and also the caption. I really hope this tutorial was helpful for you in terms of understanding how to integrate and visualize information about your Instagram Insights campaigns. You can also get to know more about this product if you go to portermetrics.com and select this connector directly from the connector section. And obviously keep watching this tutorial to understand other metrics from different platforms such as LinkedIn and Twitter.